Picture this. You're at a jam session, the spotlight's on you, and suddenly your mind goes blank. Every scale, every lick you've practiced just disappears. You freeze. Sound familiar? It's one of the most humiliating feelings as a musician, being lost while everyone else keeps playing. I've been there. I froze at jam sessions for years, even after endless scale practice and a gazillion licks learned. But after helping thousands of students through our science-based ear training method, now rated excellent on Trustpilot and taught in top institutions worldwide, I discovered a simple strategy that works instantly. In this video, you'll learn what to do the very moment you freeze, why this trick works even if you're a beginner, and how to evolve it into the kind of skill that makes sure you never freeze again, no matter what song or piece of music you're playing. But before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. The ideas I'll share next helped me go from clumsy improvising to something more like this. Most musicians think they need to recall scales, licks, or arpeggios when they improvise. That's why they panic. It's too much information to juggle. The truth is, in a high-pressure moment, we have to do the opposite. Limit the options, but in a smart way. Instead of panicking or running random scales, just pick 2 or 3 notes. On average, even beginner musicians can keep 1 to 3 notes in memory without overthinking. So this is likely within your current abilities, and that's all you need to get back in the flow. That said, it's essential to select these notes strategically, not randomly. One stable note, usually the tonic, the home of the key. That should be a must, especially if you are a beginner. Then one tense note, like the 2nd or 7th, and one middle ground, like the 3rd degree, for example. This gives you a simple palette with enough contrast to make your phrasing musical. A classic beginner mistake here is grabbing random notes that don't even belong to the key. That's a perfect recipe for instant wrong notes and some wonderfully weird facial expressions from the audience. The second step is to focus only on these 3 notes and explore them through rhythm and variation. Even with such a limited palette, you can change articulation, timing, and dynamics to create phrasing that sounds musical. At first, you'll probably play them in a predictable way as you get familiar with how they feel. But within just a couple of bars of jamming, you'll already be ready for step 3. Step 3 is to hum the notes before you play. Or better yet, hum short melodic ideas with just those 3 notes and then play them. One of the biggest mistakes caused by panic is letting your fingers decide what to play. That's when your improvisation turns robotic, boring, and unmusical, which only makes you panic more. This trick breaks that cycle. It forces your musical imagination to lead and your fingers to follow. Here's why it works. With only 2 or 3 notes, it's simple enough to imagine a tiny phrase in your head and then reproduce it on your instrument without confusion. If you were working with 6 or 7 notes at this stage, your fingers wouldn't know which one you were hearing internally, and they couldn't automatically recreate the phrase. But with just 3 notes, your inner ear and your hands can likely stay perfectly connected. So this simple trick alone is going to make you go from sounding like this to sounding like this. The melodic ideas you just heard were built using only 3 notes. Can you hear how they still sound musical? That's just this super simple trick in action. So why does this trick work so well when all your scales and licks fail you? 1. It reduces overwhelm. Instead of 50 choices, you only have 2 or 3, which makes it manageable. 2. It locks you into the tonality. You're not running random licks, you're rooted in the song's key. This is essential to be musical. 3. matches natural memory limits. Most beginner musicians can reliably hold just 1 to 3 notes in their head, so this fits perfectly with your current skill level. Some start with even less than that, and later in the video, I'll explain how to help if that's you. 4. It enables intuitive play. Once you can hum the notes, you can play them, and you're back in control. This means you are forced to perceive those notes in your head, generate musical ideas, and then play them. You're not moving fingers before hearing music in your head, you're doing the opposite. And that's the essence of real musical improvisation. Of course, this is just a trick and it isn't a full path to becoming a great improviser, but as a quick rescue move, it works surprisingly well. Like all tricks, this one only works in a limited way. It might save you once, but it won't guarantee you won't freeze again the next time. To truly put an end to this problem, we need to get to the root of why musicians freeze in the first place and fix it for good. After developing these skills myself and successfully teaching thousands of students, I can tell you with confidence. The real reason you freeze is because you don't have a stable mental map of the tonality. Without that map, your brain panics and loses its bearings. But once you build it, everything changes. Suddenly you move from relying on emergency tricks to being able to improvise freely in any context. Let me give you a quick glimpse of what becomes possible once you apply what I'm about to share next. So how do you build that map? Step 1 is pitch matching. If you can't match notes with your voice, you can't retain notes in your head. So improvising the way I'm suggesting will be impossible. Luckily, I started out unable to match pitch myself, and I've since helped hundreds of musicians develop this skill. So if that's where you are right now, stick with me. Anyone can learn it, no matter how difficult it feels in the beginning. Step 2 is singing the scale. This is where you begin to feel the structure of tonality. The scale itself becomes your first musical map, but only after steps 3 and 4 are fully in place. Step 3 is internalizing the 7 scale degrees and their sensations. When you internalize the unique feeling of each degree, you'll be able to imagine a note in your head and instantly know which degree it is. You'll also be able to hear a melody in your imagination and immediately recognize which scale degrees are being used. Once that's solid, step 4 becomes the final building block that makes improvisation as natural as speaking with a friend. Step 4 is connecting this musical map to your instrument. You need to connect the sensations of each scale degree with the physical scale patterns on your instrument. That way, sounds and feelings become directly connected to your muscle memory. In other words, imagining your fingers moving inside a familiar scale pattern will automatically trigger the corresponding sounds in your mind. And the reverse will also be true. Imagining a melody in your head will instinctively make your fingers move to play it. When that happens, freezing disappears forever. And that's when you're ready for more advanced challenges in improvisation, like key shifts, non-diatonic notes, and navigating complex jazz progressions. You can subscribe now to keep learning these strategies and take your playing to the next level. If you want to move beyond this quick trick and actually build your internal map step by step, make sure to join our free workshop. We'll walk you through the science-based process that's already helped thousands of musicians stop freezing and start playing music straight from their imagination. You'll discover exactly where you are in your development, and based on that, which exercises to focus on and which ones to avoid. Check out the link in the description and register for free. If you're not ready for the workshop yet, check out this video where we share the exact exercises and step-by-step strategy that helped one of our students go from zero to recognizing notes and chords by ear in just a few months, without interval drills and by doing the opposite of what traditional ear training teaches.